Hello and welcome back. I am back at last, and in this particular game, I will be playing the new Tier 7 French DD, the Vauquelin, and that's basically the only time I'll try to pronounce that name because I don't speak a word of French. With the latest update, we were given the opportunity to get a few of the French DDs early. The tier 5 to tier 8. You get them through the French containers and some missions. I was able to get the tier 5, the tier 6, and of course the tier 7. And I've tried them out a bit, and I know there is a significant difference between the tier 8 to tier 10 and the lower ones. And that's probably a good thing because as is right now, my feeling is that the mid-tier ones are rather horrible to play, to be honest. They are mainly gunboats without smoke, but with the main battery reload booster. So most of the time I try to play these ships as open water gunboating. Of course, at these tiers, the shell arcs are absolutely horrible, and that should enable you to stay behind islands, but it's not every game you have the opportunity, and looking at the matchmaking with only 2 DDs, I will have to do quite a lot of the spotting, so not really gonna be sitting behind islands much this game. I already mentioned that the gun arcs or the shell arcs are very bad, and hitting stuff even above 10 kilometers is not the easiest. It is also quite large and takes a lot of damage, so getting a gunfight is something you want to avoid, to be honest. It's also quite sluggish in turning, making it a bit difficult to dodge shells. It is relatively fast, but I would say not really fast enough for what it's supposed to be doing. During this engagement with the Leander, I was trying to use the AP, but even at this range, I wasn't really able to get any really good hits or citadels. And the angles of the incoming shells was just not good enough, and the reload booster helped me get some damage, but again, not really enough. And we see Leander is getting away. I have the majority of the team with me, but they are still quite far behind, or they are camping behind an island. So I am taking a fair amount of attention from the enemy team. And I'm doing my best to dodge, try to stay as much at range as I can, and shoot the easier targets, so usually the battleships. Now, I am currently not running IFG. When shooting battleship, that is something I have been considering. I tried a bit just in the beginning, but spec'd out of it. But basically the only thing you can actually hit or do damage on is the superstructure. And with the slow shells, it's not even that easy to hit. So it is problematic really to shoot at battleships. AP, of course, is an option, but with the guns at these tiers, I don't really see it as particularly viable. Because you still need to hit the same spots, and honestly, setting fires is something that is quite common actually with the French GD, so I prefer to just try to get some fires, as we see I'm getting on the Mutsu right here. We also see that a lot of the shells I hit are non-penetrations, and the only thing really getting the damage counter up are the fires and the fact that I can pump out a fair amount of shells every couple of seconds. Not that much has happened here on this side. The ships I have with me are still mostly sitting behind an island, and even though we have had the advantage in terms of number of ships, we haven't really been able to capitalize it, and because the damage output from the guns is not that amazing in this ship, I haven't really been able to do too much either. And we see that even though the game is 7 minutes long, I only managed about 40,000 damage, and that is with 4 fires and shooting most of the time. Now it is of course possible to stealth torp, and if you hold your fire, you can from time to time get close enough to launch some torps without getting detected. And with this particular DD you have 9 torps in total, but 3 or 2 of them can only be fired at one direction. So you can at most fire 6 without turning. But seeing as this is a gunboat and the torps has honestly been for a long time my perhaps biggest weakness in this game, I prefer to just try to gunboat as much as I can. Of course, an HE shooting British battleship is not a particular fun ship to go against. Again, you see that I'm trying to evade as best I can, and sometimes it works, mostly due to my speed. Other times it's just too sluggish when turning. I finally managed to get my first kill, and just shy of 60,000 damage. But we are definitely behind on ships, and as we can see on the minimap, the west flank has collapsed completely. They were outnumbered, and unlike what we were able to do on this side, the enemy team was able to capitalize on their advantage. So now they are capping our base, and I am rushing as fast as I can to try and hopefully stop it, but otherwise just delay it and maybe get some additional damage, because so far this game has been pretty bad. Ideally, like I said in the beginning, you want to sit behind islands if you can, and torping is of course always advisable when you get the opportunity. But because this game on my side has been pretty static, with both sides sitting at their positions and just slugging out, I haven't really been able to use the torps as of yet. The enemy Jaguar, another French GD, has for some reason pushed up to the north side. Not sure why he would do that. It would be better to just stay in the south and capping, but maybe he wanted some extra damage as well. I managed to reset him a couple of times. He disappears, but I'm quickly back into spotting him and fire some more shots and will manage to kill him. Still, only 58k damage, 2 kills, and there is at least one ship, a König, in the cap. But most likely to see here also the hero, because he was last spotted there. I'm trying to hold my torps for the König. Take a shot on the hero while waiting. And to be honest, at this point I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna make it. But for some reason the hero decides to give me a perfect broadside. And at this range with the gun reload booster and against the hero, I am able to do some pretty impressive damage in a short amount of time. 5 citadels and some, of course, other hits, and the hero is no more. So that is a situation that you honestly would really like to be in. Be able to shoot at a broadsided cruiser, especially a light armored cruiser, and just use your AP. I'm getting close to 90,000 damage, or 100,000 damage. I passed 90,000, and we are actually starting to get back into this game. I have some help with me, trying to defend the cap, deal with the König. And yeah, once again we see that a lot of non-penetrations. From time to time I get a hit, and of course the fires. I have 10 fires so far, and at least from my short experience in the French DDs, they are quite good at setting fires. That is something you want to do as much as you can. Get a bit lucky to get the kill there, but I have been shooting at him for quite a while and torped him and so on, so I'll take it without feeling too much shame. Right now we're actually one ship ahead, and we are fairly collected in our team, so we have the opportunity now to try and push together, or at least that is the hope. Enemy shores in middle. We also have the Fiji and King George just north of the enemy base. Range is a bit limited, but even if it wasn't, like I talked about a few times now, the shells are so slow that you don't really want to shoot at longer ranges anyway. Trying to shoot a bit at Fiji as he comes within my range. But again we see here that it doesn't actually require that much to evade my shells. Of course, my aim is not exactly perfect every time here, but even so, he has plenty of time to turn and slow down and so on in order to make sure that my puny shells don't actually hit him. Thanks to the smoke and maybe to some extent to the island here as well, I am able to shoot a bit at King George here. And as always, I get a little bit of damage, but it is very limited. We have lost one of our ships though, so we are down to 4 against 4. And the King George is quite healthy. Get an opportunity to launch my torps. King George seems to be one of those that just sails in a straight line. And Piotr actually managed to devastate the shores, but in turn we lose another of our ships, so again 3 versus 3. Land 2 torps and get the Confederate. And here I just really want to try and get the Kraken, so it is a questionable time to use the reload booster, but I'm hoping that the sheer amount of shells will be enough, and that I will be able to get the last blow. I also earned the High Caliber award. I have set some fires, and I'm just shooting as much as I can on King George. The Fiji is focusing me. I have my doubts if I'm actually the easiest target, but I think he recognizes that he needs to kill me. Once again, I get a bit lucky with the last couple of HP on a ship, and thanks to that I get my Kraken. However, I have managed to rack up over 150,000 damage, despite lacking damage from the shells. Enemy Sinop is pushing up. I launch some more torps and start firing, hoping to hit a torp or two, or at least get some more damage. The Fiji is still focusing me. Yes, I am low, but again, there must have been better targets. Land 1 of torps, get my 6th kill, and I'm up to 165,000 damage. Unfortunately, the Fiji finally gets me, and he gets the Kraken as well. Or, sorry, no, not with my kill, the next kill actually is what will give him the Kraken. The Piotr has done a pretty good job here surviving, and gets a good hit on the Fiji, but unfortunately the rear guns are turned in the wrong direction, and a Fiji torp hits him and he goes down. So there's the Fiji gets the Kraken. I'm pretty sure that our Algae will mess this up, and we will lose, which I would really like to not do. The Fiji has torped, so there shouldn't be any there. There's a proximity spot, and Algae uses AP, but hits the island, and that was honestly my last hope, I thought. We see a few more guns fired, and not entirely sure what is hitting, but second time around it's enough and we win. And then looking at the result screen, we still managed to get, like I said, 165,000 damage, which is honestly, in my book, a really good result. Especially considering it is the lower tier, I was top tier, so there's no extra HP from tier 9s and tier 8s. I actually had another game that I might upload at a later stage, where I am against tier 8, and I get just shy of 164,000 damage, so about 1,000 less than I got in this game. We see that I hit 323 shells, 4 torps, and also 12 fires, 5 citadels on the Kirov, and 6 kills. Confederate, Kraken, and High Caliber, so overall a really good game from me and this French GD. Base XP wise, 2.2k, definitely not bad. Almost 900 more than the second best. And then it drops out quite quickly for the rest of the team. The Fiji on the enemy team did a good job, to be honest. He did really good, getting a Kraken for himself, and We also see that he is the only one that is above 1000 base XP, and he almost managed to get 1200. But honestly, I had a very good game. I was able to mostly myself bring this back from a bad situation to a win. The detail report: 81,000 approximately from the guns, 56 from HE, and 26 from AP. 41,000 from torpedoes, the 4 of them, and sadly only roughly 40,000 damage from the fires and floodings, and that is even with 12 fires. So could have been more there, but still I was able to get a good damage game regardless. But we also see that I fire a lot of shells and do very little damage, so that is kind of the curse of the mid-tier French DDs. About 1.1 million potential damage. It's pretty okay, actually. Like I've been saying, the French DDs are, at least in the mid-tiers, quite sluggish, and dodging shells is not the easiest. But yeah, that pretty much sums it up. It's a ship and a line I'm so far not enjoying as much as I would like to enjoy, since it is gunboats. And the gunboat DDs are my favorite kind of DDs. But I managed to get a good game with definitely high damage, and with 6 kills and a win. There's not too much to complain about, to be honest. So I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, maybe it'll be another one of my Vauquelin games at a later stage, but for now, I hope you got an idea of the ship, and if you haven't already started playing them, maybe you can get some tips after this game. But I will see you next time.